Senator, thanks for your time. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in person, but I had to update people on quarterback injuries or something like that.
Thanks, Keith.
This is
a tough day for quarterbacks.
Yeah, it is. Brady's out. This is more about campaign tactics to start with, rather than issues. But it seems like sometimes like tactics have replaced issues altogether. He fights pork barrel spending, says this new McCain-Palin ad. She stopped the bridge to nowhere. I mean, it sounds a little like Remington Steele, but I'm confused otherwise. As late as October of 2006. Mrs. Palin insisted to voters in Alaska that not only would she defend that infamous bridge, but she also said, and here's the quote, she would not allow the spinmeisters to turn this project or any other into something that's so negative. What are Senator McCain and Governor Palin doing in this new commercial, do you think?
They're not telling the truth. I mean, I think we've all gotten accustomed to being able to spin things in politics, but when you've got somebody who was for a project being presented as being against it, then that stretches the bounds of spin into new areas. And as far as John McCain's concerned, I think that Senator McCain has on occasion broken with his party, but this notion that as he said at his convention, that he would tell the lobbyists that they're not going to be running Washington anymore. Who's he going to tell? His campaign chairman, Charlie Black, his campaign manager, Rick Davis, two the largest corporate lobbyists in Washington with client lists that extend into every major industry. There is just a sense that they're making these assertions that ignore the facts of their campaigns and their past history, and I think people should be troubled by that.
And Governor Palin hired a lobbyist to get earmarks to the tune of $27 million for a 6,000-person town, which is in its own scope is kind of a neat trick, but it does seem to counterbalance the basic platform of the Republican Party. You said that they're not telling the truth here, but when the stuff is a gross distortion, whether it's about their own positions or yours or facts in your history or whatever, what can you do about it, and why do people hesitate to use the word lie about these things?
Well, look, we have been very clear about the fact that this argument John McCain and Sarah Palin are making, that they're agents of change, just won't fly. It defies their history and their background. And we saw it in the convention, that they wouldn't talk about the basic issues that are really going to make a difference in the lives of middle-class families. So, I'm happy to have legitimate policy debates with them on where we want to take health care, what we want to do about energy, what we want to do about education, what are we going to do about the war in Iraq. But for them to run an ad that basically doesn't present an accurate record of their positions on issues, I think should raise some questions about how they would approach an administration.
To something from your own convention, maybe the most compelling moment of your acceptance speech in Denver was that one strongly voiced word, enough. A lot of people who have felt angry about what's been done to this country in the last 7 or 8 years have that same sense of urgency and simplicity to it. Have you thought of using on the campaign trail and in your speaking engagements more exclamation points? Have you thought of getting angrier?
Well, I tell you what, with 2 months to go, I think everybody needs to feel a sense of urgency. When I hear John McCain suggest that he's going to bring about change, I am reminded of the cartoon that Tom Tolles did in the Washington Post, where he has McCain say, watch out, George Bush, with the exception of the economy, tax policy, foreign policy, healthcare policy, education policy, and Karl Rove politics, we're really going to shake things up in Washington. The fact of the matter is that not only has John McCain agreed with George Bush 90% of the time, this is the party that's been in charge for 8 years. And they're now trying to run against themselves, despite a few months ago having argued that John McCain saying that, listen, I've been supportive of George Bush, boasting about it. I said, I think on Saturday in Indiana, the American people aren't stupid. They are going to get it, but we've got to make sure that we are being clear, not only that they will not bring about change, but the very specific kinds of changes we want to bring in terms of green technology jobs in America, investing in our education system, making college more affordable, making health care accessible to every American. That contrast, if we go into November with that contrast on the minds of the American people, I think we're going to do well.
But clearly it must not be fully on their minds because the race is as close as it is, and nobody's burst into laughter at the latest Republican ad, or at least not many Republicans have. Have the Republicans succeeded in muddying up this election, in kind of overcomplicating it so the point is not as simple as you just made it? I mean, 60 years ago, Harry Truman went out and campaigned very simply, looked out at people in trouble because of a Republican Congress at that point, and the impact that it had on their lives, and he said, how many more times do you have to be hit over the head till you figure out who's hitting you? I mean, has your campaign in some way not kept it that simple?
You know, we've actually been driving this point home, and I think the convention drove it home. But look, the Republicans can't govern, but they run smart campaigns. And frankly, they are not always policed by the media as effectively as they should be. I was struck with how little scrutiny some of the claims that John McCain and Sarah Palin were making, how little they were subjected to scrutiny coming out of the convention. It's our job to press the point and make the case. And I think that the Republicans have been pretty successful at working the refs during this game. But I have confidence in the American people that if we just drum home the fact that the country is off course, that middle-class families are struggling. Your wages and incomes have gone down under George Bush. Under Democrats, they went up. Unemployment has gone up. Unemployment was down under Bill Clinton. If we just keep on being clear about how we are going to rebuild this economy, then I think we're going to end up winning this campaign.
And there are extraordinarily large developments in terms of that economy, especially in the last couple of days, especially about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They were created as a kind of gentle encouragement by government to more home ownership, to make it more possible. There's nothing gentle about it now. It is essentially fully taxpayer-funded subsidization of home interest rates and home ownership. I mean, should this be the way it is? Is this a permanent solution, or did we just add $5 trillion to the national debt? What do we do now about this?